Tonight on Cronkite News, college basketball is here and Arizona State did not disappoint during their season opener. How they got it done without a key player.
Plus, the NBA is looking a little different with its new in-season tournament, what it looks like and how the Phoenix Suns fit into the new format.
And today was the final day to cast your ballot here in Arizona. The measures are being voted on and when we expect results. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Jeff Hinkle.
And I'm Jesse Broaders. Thank you for joining us.
Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon announced that Kyler Murray is expected to be activated from the physically unable to perform list on Wednesday and will return to practice taking first-team reps this week.
If all goes well, the franchise QB will make his first start of the season this Sunday against the Falcons. Although Gannon says he's been pleased with Murray's progress both physically and mentally, he expects some growing pains after nearly 1 year since Murray's last start.
We got to be willing to understand that it might not look like Kyler, and I think he's got a good expectation of that. The coaches have a good expectation of that, but I know this, he's going to come out there and play his game and help us win.
The Arizona Rattlers are moving the Snake Pit from Footprint Center to Glendale for the first time since their inception in 1992. The franchise announced Monday that they will call Desert Diamond Arena their new home starting in March for the 2024 season. The Rattlers aren't strangers to the Glendale facility. Over the years, they played several playoff games at the then Gila River Arena. The facility even hosted the 2019 United Bowl with more than 14,000 fans in attendance, where the Rattlers lost to the Sioux Falls Storm 56-53.
The inaugural NBA in-season tournament is underway, and for the first time ever, teams are fighting for an NBA Cup. The Suns play their first tournament game Friday when they host the Lakers. But how does this tournament work exactly? Our Beatrice Martinez helps make sense of it and joins us from the touchscreen.
That's right, guys. This was inspired by European soccer formats. Adam Silver has created an in-season tournament for the NBA to help boost interest in the league and what is usually a point of the season that is the least relevant. Here's how the tournament works. First is group play. All 30 teams will be randomly drawn into 6 groups of 5, 3 from the Eastern and 3 from the West based on the 2022-23 regular season records. Each team plays each other one time with a total of 4 games, 2 being at home and 2 being away. Now, in each group, the team with the best group play record after those 4 games will move on, including 1 wildcard team from each conference. And you always have to watch out for those wildcards. 8 teams will advance to the knockout rounds, which consist of single elimination games. So you know what that means. If you lose, you're out. Now, games played in the quarterfinals and semifinals will count as regular season games, excluding the championship game. Now, Vegas bound, baby. The last 4 teams standing will head to Vegas for the semifinals on December 7th. Then just 2 days after that, the last 2 teams standing will compete for the NBA Cup on December 9th. Not only are there new players on new teams in the league, but there are completely new courts and new jerseys being brought out just for this tournament. So make sure you buckle up and get ready for this month of November. At the touchscreen, Beatrice Martinez, Cronkite News.
Thanks, B. Now on to some Diamondbacks news. Snakes starting pitcher Zach Gallen is a finalist for the National League Cy Young Award, while outfielder Corbin Carroll is a finalist for the National League Rookie of the Year Award. Plus, after taking the team to the 2023 World Series, D-backs manager Torey Lovullo was rewarded with a contract extension that would take him through the 2026 season.
With the college basketball season in full effect, the Arizona State women's team is making sure it's defying the odds with a strong start in its last season in the Pac-12.
Cronkite News reporter Paul Schultz joins us now from the Sports Bureau, and you were actually in Tempe to witness the big win.
Yeah, definitely an exciting time to be a college basketball fan. I got to see a good one last night out at Desert Financial Arena. Coach Natasha Adair began her 2nd season at the helm of the women's basketball program for ASU.
Getting the jersey on, warm up and everything just hit me. It was so real. And then at the end of the game, I don't think the smiles left my face. So it's just surreal, and I'm extremely grateful for it.
There's nothing like the atmosphere of a college basketball game day, something that Arizona State's Maggie Besseling hasn't felt since an injury sidelined her 2 years ago. Less than 1 quarter into her return on Monday, a hard hit knocked her to the floor. More than anything, Besseling saw it as a welcome back.
Well, first of all, I'm good. Thanks. But I think it was the initial, like, this is the first game back, my first real hit. And I was like, hold on, I need to know that I'm okay. Yeah, it took me a second, but, I mean, the trainer had me, the coaches had me, I was good.
A new season for the Sun Devils, a fresh start, is now underway. As the Maroon and Gold look to improve from last year's 8-win, 20-loss season, another injury caused a new challenge to overcome. One of the Devils' top scorers and a leader of last year's team, Ty Skinner, will miss the entire season with a knee injury. But she's doing everything she can to help the team from the bench.
Ty's always going to talk. She's always going to tell us what it is, and I think she's just so vocal that it helps me. Like, she's like, didn't see this, hey, we need a bucket now because we didn't score the last 2 possessions. Like, she's still active, you know, she's not on the court, but Ty's just good to have around.
Both Sun Devil basketball teams looking to make a statement in their last year in the Conference of Champions, and for Coach Adair, that goal has been clear since day one.
We want to win the pack. That doesn't change. We want to make a statement in the pack. And so, again, you got to get the first one, and that's what we did.
Couldn't say it better than what Coach Shea said in that last line there. The Devils are taking it one day at a time. A big win last night, 70-55 over UTSA. They'll try to continue that momentum on Friday when they take on Montana State at 6 p.m. In the Sports Bureau, Paul Schultz, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Paul. And sticking with Sun Devil hoops, the men are getting the ball rolling tonight in Chicago for the Barstool Sports Invitational. The Sun Devils will kickstart the season against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Their first game at home will be this Saturday.
Mercury star Brittany Griner almost followed in her dad's footsteps by joining the military when she was younger, but her basketball skills led her in another direction. Now, as BG and her teammate Diana Taurasi get ready to practice with Team USA, Griner reflects on what it means to be part of the U.S. national team.
My way of doing something for my country would be being with USA basketball. So it was just, it's only fit and only right that I come back and play with USA ball. It's just a different feeling, you know, when you're playing with USA at the Olympics, representing the whole country. Everybody's tuning in.
Sorry, you know.
Coming up next is no place like the Battle of the Bands. Some of the best marching bands in the country converge on Arizona to battle it out. Their story next.
Plus, it's been a warm few days across the valley, but temperatures are about to drop. Your forecast is also next.
Three, two, one. Cronkite News. Get real professional experience in areas such as reporting, broadcast editing, and behind-the-scenes production, such as technical director and audio.
Kill the mics.
Or go out in the field and cover important local stories.
Learn and master the English language.
In a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Cronkite News. The future starts now.
Here at the Walter Cronkite School, students produce award-winning content that focuses on health disparities in underserved communities and how to turn things around. In Cronkite News and Cronkite Noticias, students cover stories that affect people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and others across the Southwest.
We highlight big problems that are often overlooked in communities that are underserved.
Those stories not only inform and educate people about the challenges, but we work hard to highlight potential solutions. In the Cronkite Agency, students work to connect with community members through social media campaigns in English and Spanish.
Being a Hispanic myself, it's nice to be able to give back to my own community.
Find more of our health coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome back. For the second year in a row, Arizona State's women's soccer team punched a ticket to the NCAA tournament. The Sun Devils finished the season 10-6-4 and tied for 5th in the Pac-12. This is ASU's 10th trip to the national tournament and 3rd appearance in the last 4 seasons. The Sun Devils will travel to face number 7 seed Santa Clara in a first-round game on Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You might only know the marching band as the halftime entertainment of Friday night football games, but there's a little bit more to it. that meets the eye. And Jeff, you actually work with a local marching band.
Yeah, that's right, Jesse. I was fortunate enough to work with the band at Corona del Sol High School in Tempe for the past 3 years, and I got to go behind the scenes to get a closer look at a major marching band competition. A lot of people see the marching band as the jukebox for high school football, just a collection of kids who play their instruments in the stands and then perform at halftime. But that's far from the whole story. These performers put in countless hours of practice and devote early mornings and late nights to make their show the best in the country. Welcome to the world of competitive marching band. At a recent event in Flagstaff, 23 bands from across 7 different states met up for the Bands of America Arizona Regional Championship. Groups are scored on various aspects of their performance, from the musical aspect to the visual and general effect of the show. Only 12 make it to the finals performance later on in the day. For some members, the experience wasn't about placement, but it was about the memories made along the way.
The focus was there. I know we didn't place high, but with the bands that came today, we weren't going to. It was fine. This was one of the things where we're not going to compete to win, but we're going to get more experience and have fun.
Bands of America is a national circuit that brings around the top groups in the country to compete against each other to earn the highest score. You could say marching bands kind of have their own game days. Only 2 types of people actually get to see the field during a football game: the football team and the marching band. And just like football teams have their game days, so does a marching band. It's times like these and places like Northern Arizona University's beautiful J. Lawrence Walk-Up Sky Dome that the marching band gets to show off all of their hard work. The shows varied in style. For example, Basha High School's show was about racing and featured pedal carts on the field, while Corona del Sol's show featured a giant red button that only one special person gets to press. The goal?
Get everyone's attention, make sure they're looking at me, and then at the same time try to put a story to it, if that makes sense.
American Fork High School from Utah led after the morning prelims and took home top honors at night despite a weather delay.
I'm just really happy with how it all turned out because we didn't really get we got 5 minutes of warm-up, and I don't know, it was just super fun on the field. Everyone had really high energy and it was awesome.
I'm beyond ecstatic. We've been working super hard this season, and even though we're only halfway done, it's incredible how far the students have gone, and I'm super proud of them.
The Bands of America season goes until November 11th, when some of the best bands in the country take to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana for the Grand National Championships. In Flagstaff, Jeff Hinkle, Cronkite News. Well, back here in the Valley, if you were outside today, you know it was pretty warm, at least for this time of the year.
But there is a cool down headed our way. Sienna Monet joins us now with what we can expect over the next few days.
For this Tuesday evening, we're sitting at about 80 degrees. We're going to cool off at around 9 p.m. where it's going to be 73 degrees, and then it's going to be 72 at 10 p.m. Taking a look at our lows for this Wednesday, it's going to be the perfect weather for sweater weather. It's going to be 54 here in Phoenix, 22 at the Grand Canyon, 17 up in Window Rock as our lowest low, and then we're going to be on the 50s on the west side with 59 in Bullhead City. For our highs, it's going to be 80 degrees here in Phoenix, and I am not complaining. It's going to be 53 up at the Grand Canyon. We're going to be in the 70s with 73 in Bullhead City, and then 58 up in Window Rock. Taking a look at our weekend, it's going to be a high of 78 on Friday with a low of 48. On Saturday, we're going to have a high of 82 degrees with a low of 54. It's going to be the perfect day to go check out the 8th annual Pizza Festival in downtown Phoenix at Margaret Hans Park. And then after, you can go to the Veterans Day Parade down on Central. Looking into your work week next week, we're going to have a high of 87 on Tuesday with a low of 62. And on Wednesday, we're going to have those clouds come on through with a high of 80. I'm Sienna Monet from the Cronkite Weather Center. Back to Jesse and Jeff for our latest weather news.
Next, Kenji Ito brings you today's headlines, a petition to get rid of what some consider dangerous lanes in central Phoenix.
And today is Election Day. Stay with Cronkite News for the main issues on the ballot and when we can expect results.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Three, two, one. Cronkite News. Get real professional experience in areas such as reporting, broadcast editing, and behind-the-scenes production, such as technical director and audio.
Kill the mics.
Or go out in the field and cover important local stories.
Learn and master the English language.
In a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Cronkite News. The future starts now.
Here at the Walter Cronkite School, students produce award-winning content that focuses on health disparities in underserved communities and how to turn things around. In Cronkite News and Cronkite Noticias, students cover stories that affect people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and others across the Southwest.
We highlight big problems that are often overlooked in communities that are underserved.
Those stories not only inform and educate people about the challenges, but we work hard to highlight potential solutions. In the Cronkite Agency, students work to connect with community members through social media campaigns in English and Spanish.
Being a Hispanic myself, it's nice to be able to give back to my own community.
Find more of our health coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
I'm Kenji Ito with a closer look at the latest headlines. There are elections across the state today where voters have a chance to weigh in on everything from a mayor in Tucson and how to pay for upgrades to city infrastructure projects and even school district funding questions. Jacob Luthi joins us now at one of the ballot drop-off locations. Jacob, how has traffic been down there today?
Thanks, Kenji. Yes, I am here at the Maricopa County Tabulation Center where voters had until 7 p.m. to drop off their ballots. And I've been here for about maybe an hour or so, and I've seen probably 30 cars pull up to drop off their ballots. Not too many, but that is to be expected given that we are in an off-year election. But despite all of that, there are still some very important measures on the ballots that Arizona citizens should be aware of. Starting in Tucson, where the mayor there, Regina Romero, is seeking her second 4-year term. In that race, she goes up against 3 other candidates, including a Republican, an independent, and a libertarian. Other notable measures include Phoenix Go bonds, where the city of Phoenix is asking for $500 million in general obligation bonds. This would help finance many forms of city services, including fire and police stations, street and sewer work, and arts and culture projects. Out west in Glendale, the city is looking for a total of $160 million in bonds to improve roads and public safety. And in the north, to our friends in Flagstaff, voters are being asked to approve a measure that would allow a Flagstaff Medical Center to move miles across from the city to an undeveloped area. And lastly, school districts across the state are looking at budget and bond overrides to fund everything from teacher salaries to classroom experiences. Now, according to the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, initial results are expected by 8 p.m. Those are all the results that came in before Election Day. And then all those votes that came in on Election Day will be tabulated, and that information will be shared daily right after that. In Phoenix, Jacob Luthi, Cronkite News.
Thanks, Jacob. Some local Arizona residents and businesses are pushing to put an end to reverse lanes in Central Phoenix, often referred to as suicide lanes. During rush hour traffic, the center lanes on 7th Street and 7th Avenue switch directions. Some are debating whether the reverse lanes are even necessary, with those who oppose them starting a petition to further their cause. That petition has more than 1,000 signatures. According to the City of Phoenix, these reverse traffic lanes reduce congestion during morning and evening commutes, and if they were removed, operational delays would increase travel time by more than 40%. Today marks 1 month since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. House Republicans held a press conference earlier today with family members of hostages in Gaza. One of those family members was Doris Lieber. Her son Guy is also missing.
We don't have a list of the hostages. We don't know their condition. I don't have anything. So I need your help, basically. I'm...
An estimated 1,400 people in Israel have been killed since the start of the war, according to the Associated Press. President Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday about the need for humanitarian pauses, but the White House said no agreement was reached. Officials in Gaza say the Palestinian death toll is now over 10,000. In an audio interview today, the Director General of the Gaza Health Ministry said hospitals are overcrowded.
The remaining hospitals which are still operating now are overcrowded, and you can find the injured lying on the ground anywhere in the emergency room, in front of the operation room, and many of them were operated upon in the corridors without even anesthesia. Some amputations were performed, and that was admitted by the WHO, by the way. They were operated upon without anesthesia.
And the longest strike in SAG-AFTRA history continues, 41 days after the end of the writer's strike. SAG-AFTRA negotiators said AI is one of the several essential items not agreed on yet.
When people say, oh, why are you still striking? There's no hair and makeup artists if there's no actor who needs it. If everything goes AI, the rest of the jobs fall away.
SAG-AFTRA negotiators responded Monday to what studios called their, quote, last, best, and final offer. The union continued picketing yesterday with actors like Jack Black showing up to support. SAG-AFTRA's website has information on pickets happening through the end of the week. And that's it for the latest headlines around the world and back here at home. In the newsroom, I'm Kenji Ito, Cronkite News. Now back to Jeff and Jesse at the desk.
Thanks, Kenji. Well, if you're looking for an extreme vacation over the holiday break, we may have just the idea for you.
That's right. One world-famous zoo is offering up a one-of-a-kind visit. That even includes a tour of a real lion's den. That story is next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
and develop your skills with the latest technology.
If you haven't made up your holiday plans yet, listen up because the London Zoo has a pretty exciting offer.
Yes, if you're willing to travel over the holiday break, you could actually book a few nights inside the zoo. You could stay in their Winter Wonderland Lodge on the grounds of the zoo, and you'll even get a super exclusive tour of a real lion's den. You'll also get to roast marshmallows on a fire pit, as well as make presents for the animals. The zoo is available to book beginning December 18th through the end of the month.
And that's going to be it for Cronkite News. Thank you so much for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.